ladies and gentlemen. This just in. News from the Americana Music Association. For the week of June 28th, 2022, we've got the album chart. Number one this week, as well as last week, is Bonnie Raitt with her album Just Like That on Red Wing. I saw Bonnie Raitt many years ago. In fact, it was right when Just in Time came out. And I saw her at Wolf Trap. And the opening act, which is coming up also on this list, was Lyle Lovett and his large band, who at that time I had not heard of. And I was immediately impressed with Lyle Lovett and his large band, and I started buying his stuff, and I still do to this day. Very talented songwriter and performer, and I don't frankly understand why he's socked into the country music hole, because he's so all over the map with jazz and big band, and all kinds of influences show through his music. Number two on the list for this week and last week, Old Crow Medicine Show, Paint This Town. They're on ATO Records. And as promised, number three was number four last week, Lyle Lovett, the 12th of June. So that's Just in Time. Number four on the list, number three last week, Molly Tuttle and Golden Highway, Crooked Tree on Nonesuch. Number five, and this is a debut, Camp, that's CAAMP, Lavender Days on Mom and Pop Records. Number six, Andrew Bird, Inside Problems on Loma Vista Recordings / Concord. Number seven, climbing from number 10 last week, American Aquarium, Chicamacomico, Losing Side Records / Thirsty Tigers. Number 8, number 12 last week, Taj Mahal and Ry Cooder, Get on Board, the songs of Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee. That's got to be a good one. I have not heard that. That was number 12 last week, number 8 this week. Number 9 this week, Charlie Crockett. Little GL presents Jukebox Charlie, Son of Davy and Thirsty Tigers Records. Number 10 on the list, Mavis Staples and Levon Helm, Carry Me Home on Anti. It's number 10 this week. It's number 7 last week. Number 11 is an artist I have never heard, but I hear a lot about, Father John Misty. And his album is Chloe and the Next 20th Century on Sub Pop. Number 11 this week, number 9 last week. 12, Sarah Shook and the Disarmers, Night Roamer on Aviance Records / Thirsty Tigers. Thirsty Tigers seems to have a lot of subdivisions here. Sarah Shook is 12 this week and 13 last week. Number 13, one of my favorite American bands, Calexico, El Mirador on Anti. They were number 8 last week, down to 13 this week. Sorry to see that. I haven't got that one yet, but it's on my list. Number 14, Brennan Lee featuring Asleep at the Wheel, Obsessed with the West on Signature Sounds Recordings. 14 this week, 16 last week. Number 15, Caitlin Butts, Butts. Not heard of Caitlin. What else can she do? Is the name of the album. Soundly Music is the label, and it was number 11 last week. Mary Gauthier, Dark Enough to See the Stars. In the Black / Thirsty Tigers. Number 16 this week. Number 18 last week. 17, Seth Walker, I Hope I Know, on the Royal Potato Family label. It was number 23 last week. 17 this week, so it's moving on up the charts. Number 18, an artist we haven't heard from in a while, or at least I haven't, Delbert McClinton, Outdated Emotion on Hot Shot / Thirsty Tigers. 18 this week, 17 last week, so it's slipping down the charts. Number 19, Steve Earle and the Dukes, Jerry Jeff on New West Records, so it's a tribute to Jerry Jeff Walker. They're doing Jerry Jeff tunes. 19 this week, 15 last week. And number 20 is the Tedeschi Trucks Band, I Am the Moon, on Crescent Family Records / Concord. Number 25 last week, and they've jumped up to number 20 this week. Most added, The Heavy, Life and Life Only. It's an EP on ATO. Patty Griffin, Tape, PGM. The Battle Room Thieves, Clouds. Mapache, Roscoe's Dream, not familiar. Ferris and Jesus Romero, Tell 'Em You Were Gold. And finally, Bubbling Up, Chastity Brown, Sing to the Walls. Arlo McKinley, This Mess We're In. That's on Oh Boy Records. G Love, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Avi Kaplan, Floating on a Dream. And Will Carlisle, Particular, Missouri. Now, I know there's a lot of folks in the vinyl community that are keeping up with and interested in Americana music. And then there's a lot of people interested that really don't know a whole lot about Americana music. So I don't know if this particular post is going to be of interest to many folks. If it is interesting to you, and if you'd like to hear more of it, please give me a like and a comment to let me know. I was not a fan of Americana music really in my earlier days. I was kind of classic rock and heavy rock, progressive rock, and kind of stuck on that level for many years. And it was in the late 80s, first of the 90s, when suddenly my horizons broadened and I started exploring in many different directions. I mentioned recently my favorite little local venue called the Down Home, and that is where I got some heavy doses of Americana. And when you see the quality of the musicians that perform down there playing right in front of you, you can't help but love it. I mean, it just drew me in, and I started buying this stuff. That's how I really got into Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. Bela would play at the Down Home with the Newgrass Revival guys and with the Flecktones. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm glad to see Steve Earle's on this list. I've seen Steve Earle several times and met him a couple of times. And I think I'm going to do a video about the recordings that I do have by Steve Earle. I know Rod the Happy Hippie did a Steve Earle ranking video of the albums he has, and I think I'm going to try to do the same thing and see how close we are on those comparisons. Other than that, that's all I've got for this particular video, and I will be back with another fairly soon. Hope you're having a great day. Put something on the platter.